Imagine, if you will, a day that should bring nothing but joy and merriment, but instead brings a storm of betrayal and heartache. This was the fateful predicament that befell Ajoa, a spirited young Ghanaian maiden on the cusp of a promising life, who was confronted with the precipice of a profound emotional abyss on the day that was supposed to symbolize the epitome of her happiness. Her wedding day. In the very heart of her quaint village, nestled within the soulful embrace of the continent, under the celestial blanket of glittering stars and the soft, entrancing glow of 100 candles flickering like silent prayers in the wind, Ajoa found herself standing. She was adorned in a gown as symbolic as it was beautiful. A gown of delicate lace hemmed with threads of anticipation and hope, painstakingly and affectionately woven by the gnarled but skilled hands of her beloved aunt, a matriarch whose wisdom and love enveloped Ajoa like a comforting shawl. This day, this unforgettable day, had been the stuff of her dreams. A day that was meant to etch itself as the sweet final chapter of a love story that had sprouted from the fertile grounds of friendship and blossomed in the rustic red soils of their Ghanaian home. Yet, as the dying embers of the setting sun bathed the landscape in a dusky orange glow, and the village came alive with the melodious sounds of celebration, a gnawing dread began to claw at the edges of Ajoa's heart. Kwame, the man she was about to intertwine her destiny with, had been acting peculiarly in the days leading up to their union. His eyes, once warm pools of affection, now held a distant glacial gaze that sent shivers down her. His touch, once a balm to her soul, felt cold and unrecognizable, like a stranger's hand tracing unfamiliar paths on her skin. As the traditional ceremony commenced, and the village elders, embodiments of wisdom and experience, dialogued ancient words of blessings and unity, Ajoa was gripped by a potent sense of unease. She scanned the faces of her family and friends, their radiant smiles starkly contrasting the turmoil that was rapidly becoming her reality. And then, in a moment that seemed to stretch into an eternity, Kwame slowly turned to her. His eyes, once brimming with the promise of a shared future, now reflected a haunting image of guilt and remorse. Like a fragile mirror being struck by a cruel blow, Ajoa's heart shattered into a million jagged fragments as he uttered the words she never thought she would hear in the sanctity of her wedding day. "I can't do this, Ajoa," he confessed, his voice barely more than a disheartening whisper. "I'm sorry, but I can't marry you." The world around Ajoa seemed to dissolve into a hazy mirage as his words, like an unexpected storm, scattered her dreams and hopes for the future. As she struggled to grasp the gravity of her situation, she felt as though she was adrift in a sea of darkness, her dreams of matrimony and happiness slipping through her fingers like elusive grains of sand. Yet, despite the overwhelming tide of sorrow washing over her, Ajoa found the courage to make a choice. She resolved that she would not let this heartbreaking incident define her. She would rise like a phoenix from the ashes of her shattered dreams and find the strength to rebuild her life, brick by brick. With that resolution firmly etched in her heart, she grappled with her emotions and, with tears carving tracks down her face, turned away from Kwame and walked towards an uncertain future. As Ajoa distanced herself from the village, with each step echoing her heartbreak, her heart lay heavy with grief. Yet, as she ventured into the unknown, she couldn't help but ponder how something so beautiful could metamorphose into something so ugly. But deep within her, a flame of hope continued to flicker. She knew with unwavering certainty that one day she would find love again. Love that was true and reciprocated. And when that day arrived, she would be stronger, wiser, and ready to embrace the joy and merriment that had eluded her on her bittersweet wedding day. She knew that one day she would find love again, and when that day came, she would be stronger, wiser, and ready to embrace the joy and merriment that had eluded her on her wedding day. Her love for Kwame was a beautiful symphony, a song that was both modern and traditional. Their courtship was a dance of digital and personal interactions, with dreams of a future where technology and tradition would coexist, just like the cocoa fields that surrounded their homes. Little did she know, the harmony would soon turn into discord. As the wedding celebration faded and the last guest departed, a cold whisper of conspiracy echoed from the next room. It was her mother's voice, confessing a secret pact with Kwame. A pact that was meant to protect another, more clandestine bond. It was a betrayal that stung, a dagger that pierced the fabric of their love. Overwhelmed by the sudden turn of events, Ajoa found herself on a journey through the winding pathways of love, family loyalty, and the uncharted territories of the heart. She had to confront the painful truth and search for a way to mend the rift that had formed. As the sun rose, painting the world with a golden hue, Ajoa's confusion and pain were as stark as the morning light. Her mother, once a beacon of virtue, now seemed like a stranger. Her marriage to Kwame, a symbol of unity, felt more like a bridge over a chasm of secrets. In the midst of her struggle, Ajoa sought refuge in her passions. She ran longer, she punched harder, and every drop of sweat was a momentary escape from her turmoil. She found solace in her work, in the digital world where logic reigned supreme. As an IT consultant, she used her skills to impart lessons of integrity and transparency, perhaps to compensate for the deceit she was grappling with. And so, Ajoa's story became one of resilience and determination. It's a tale of love's trials and the hope for its triumphs. A tale that reminds us that even in the face of betrayal, one can find strength and the courage to seek a new horizon where trust can bloom anew. This is just the beginning of Ajoa's story, a story that continues to unfold with each passing day.